No matter what time of year it is, your feet can be sandal ready. We all know there are hundreds of thousands of feet that are in need of some serious help, and O for Feet's Sake by Barmaids can help. O for Feet's Sake is a solid foot moisturizer, and Barmaids uses the perfect combination of skin-loving oils, butters, and ingredients ideal for your feet, including essential oils. You will be amazed at how quickly O for Feet's Sake can turn your feet from rough and dry to smooth and soft. Just follow the instructions, and in less than 2 weeks, you will see drastic improvement to your feet. You can purchase O for Feet's Sake at www.bar-maids.com. There are 2 scents, soft vanilla and peppermint plus.
Hi and welcome to Knitting Blooms. Today is Saturday, February 23rd. This is episode number 95. My name is Tina, also known as Bloomingknitter, and welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am recording on Saturday again. I had every intention of recording yesterday. All week my plan was to record on Friday. But last night when I got home from work, I was exhausted. Mostly because I only got about 5 hours of sleep on Thursday night to Friday morning. So I was tired, and when I got home, I was just completely brain dead. And if I had taken the time to record last night, I probably would have been a babbling idiot. So instead of subjecting you guys to that, I decided to go ahead and wait for today. However, today isn't much better because it's about 12:30, I think. It's almost 2 o'clock. Wow, time goes by. I guess I ended my workout around 12 o'clock, so I was thinking it's 12:30, but I forgot that I ate lunch and took a shower and got ready. So anyway, it's about 2 o'clock, and I did already have my workout in for today. Usually during the week, I work out first thing in the morning as soon as I wake up. But on the weekends, I like to do it a little bit later in the day because I can work out a little harder when I work out later in the day versus in the morning. In the morning, I can get through it, but I can push myself a little bit harder later in the day. So at least 2 days a week, I like to do that. So I started working out at around 10 o'clock and finished up around 12:15. So yes, that's a 2-hour workout. It was quite a doozy, and I think I pushed myself a little too hard because, like I said, I am feeling kind of tired right now. I slept very well last night because I slept in till, I think, 7 o'clock, which is quite late for me. And so I got plenty of sleep last night, but when you work yourself too hard during exercise, afterwards you will feel a little exhausted. If you work yourself just to the right point, then you should feel energized and you could continue to do your workout. But I think I did push myself a little bit too hard. I ran for a good hour, and then I took it down to a walking pace of about 4 miles an hour, and I kept that up. But by the time I got to like 8.5 miles, I was starving, which is why one of the reasons why I stopped, because I was so hungry I had to stop, and I didn't even feel like I could take a shower and then have lunch. I had to have lunch as soon as I got off the treadmill because I was so hungry. So I did that, and now I am recording. And while I'm talking about fitness a little bit, I wanted to mention just briefly about the app MyFitnessPal. I think some of the other podcasters are using it. In fact, I know that Kagi TM and Boutros Babe and JetGirl1313, they're all using that app. And I have just started using it. And one of the reasons why I decided to switch over to it is because it syncs with both the Fitbit and the Body Media devices that I have. So any diary entries, any food log that I do in the MyFitnessPal, it will sync with my other devices. So I only have to enter that stuff in once, and it automatically syncs up in the other locations, which is perfect for me because I just wasn't using the food logs in those other areas because I just didn't want to have to do it twice, but this way I can enter it once and it's all in there. Plus, during the day, the way that MyFitnessPal is set up with the Fitbit is that during the day, if you sync your Fitbit and then you sync it back to the MyFitnessPal, it will adjust your calories for the day. So if you've burned more than they expected you to burn for the day, it'll give you more calories that you can eat, which is very cool because some days I'm hungry and I need more calories. So it's nice to know when I can eat a little bit more. So if you are interested in joining me on a journey of weight loss or just physical fitness, you can sign up for a membership at MyFitnessPal. I think it's myfitnesspal.com for the app, the phone. It works with the computer as well. And then we can track each other's progress and help motivate each other. And again, also on the Fitbit. So if you have a Fitbit and you're tracking your steps and would like to be a friend of mine over there as well, just let me know and I will get you the information that you need in order to find me over there. Oh, one thing I like about the Fitbit, or not the Fitbit, the MyFitnessPal, is that each day when you complete your journal entries, your food log, it will tell you, based on the actions of the day, how much weight you will weigh, how much you will weigh in 5 weeks, based on the deficit, or if you don't have enough of a deficit. So that's kind of interesting. I'm trying to keep track of that information just to see how accurate it is. I know that every day is going to vary, and every day that I complete a journal, it gives me a different weight, but it'll be interesting to see exactly what I weigh in 5 weeks. So I hope you would like to join me over there and track our progress together. So now let's talk about the knit-alongs. As you know, we are currently doing the F cubed, or the Finish It or Frog It February. And I'm happy to see that there are some objects being finished rather than just being frogged. So that's a good thing. I wanted to show you some of the prizes that I have selected for this cow. I am going to give away this skein of Sock Bunny. She donated this a while back, and I just haven't had a chance to use it because we already had prizes for the knit-alongs we were doing. So this is her opulent orchid, and it is a nice pink with the tweed yarn, and it is very soft and squishy. It is, let's see, 438 yards, superwash merino, and NEP. I don't know what that is. Who knows? But it is very pretty. Like I said, she donated that a while back. And the second prize is a bag that I purchased a while back, and I think it's from Michelle Stitches, her Etsy shop. I purchased this a while back when I was trying to fill the prize bin, and I just haven't had a chance to use it, but it's a nice little bag, a project bag. It's got a square bottom, which is very unique. I don't see very many bags like that. And like I just showed you, some sample stitch markers. So those are the two prizes. If we get another 50 objects before next week, then there may be another prize. I have a few things that I can pull out. So those are the two prizes for the current knit-along. And don't forget about the dye-along that starts on March 1st. I did record a tutorial for fiber last weekend, and I will post that with the next show because this week I wanted to finish up with the spinning on a wheel tutorial, and then next week I'll do the fiber. So if you want to dye fiber, you'll have to wait till you see that. or you can go back and look at some of the other dyeing videos that I've already put out there. And then, of course, we're going to do the Trials with Lace Cal in April, and there is still a coupon code out there for $1 off, and you can use that. It is podcast. So if you'd like to join us with the Cal, or if you just want to knit along, knit by yourself or whatever, whenever, then go and check out that pattern, Trials with Lace. Okay, today I'm going to talk about spinning before I talk about my my whips. And I have been doing a little bit of spinning, but most of this week has been plying. I started plying the alpaca, gosh, I think it was Sunday. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was Sunday. I think I finished it up on Saturday, and I started plying it on Sunday, and I did ply it on the e-spinner, and I think that's the only reason that I finished it, because with the speed of the e-spinner, how fast it put the twist in, I was able to get quite a bit done in a short period of time. It still took me quite a while to do, but I got quite a bit done. So this is the first skein that I have taken off of the Nitty Knotty. I'm going to have two skeins. One is going to be a very large skein, and the other one is this one. This was like after I filled one bobbin, which was the full woolly winder bobbin on the e-spinner, this is what I had left. And I have not soaked it yet. In fact, I just took it off of the Nitty Knotty last night, and I haven't had a chance to soak it yet. But there it is so far. It is a traditional 3-ply. I had thought about doing the first one with a traditional 3-ply, and then Navajo plying the rest of it. But I decided to not do it that way, because I figured, what happens if the first skein isn't large enough to do whatever project somebody wants to do with it? Then they wouldn't have enough yarn. And if I had Navajo plied it, if you look, you will see that some of the different plies are different colors. So if I had plied it a Navajo ply, you would see those big breaks in colors. So I decided to use my new tool, which is the Bobbins Up bobbins, and I transferred some off of the different bobbins in order to even them out a little bit more, and then I continued to ply. I did have to do that a couple of times because one bobbin was way bigger than the other, and so I had 3 bobbins. I plied what I could on all 3 of those onto the first on the first woolly winder bobbin, and then when I took it off, I plied what I could onto the second, and then their one bobbin was out. So then I looked at the two bobbins and saw that one was a little bit bigger than the other, so I transferred what I could onto there, onto a new bobbin, and then I still ran short, so I had to transfer from another bobbin. But so this is what I got. I don't know how many yards this particular one is, but the other one that I still am working on putting on the Nitty Knotty is about 3 or 4 times this size. So, like I said, I haven't calculated yardage yet, and it hasn't been soaked, but I really like how it turned out. It's really, really nice. Really, really nice. And I like the tonal effect because of the different color of the alpaca. So that's what I finished spinning wise. I have been working on, since I finished plying that, I have gone back to working on the Wool Gatherings BFL on the e-spinner. I should say the mini spinner. I am still working on the Into the World Polworth Silk at the office. I did not spin much at the office this week. I was just, let me tell you, I was busy doing steps. My goal the last few days has been to do 30,000 steps a day, including my 1.5 to 2 hour run or walk in the morning. But if you've ever had a pedometer and you've ever tracked your steps, 30,000 is a big number to reach. And that's taken a lot of my time. So during the day, I walk around the office a lot, and I can't really spin or knit too much while I'm doing that. So I have been working on it, but it hasn't made much progress on either of those things. And that's all the spinning I have for you this week. Okay, so let's talk about the whips. Well, and technically, there's only one whip this week. I've only really worked on one project this week other than the spinning. Most of my knitting time has been spent on the Even Star. I'm losing stuff all over the place. Yes, the Even Star. And I have made some really good progress. Now, I started the border earlier this week, and I had to start it a couple of times because the first time I didn't like how I had pulled the yarn over, and I did the first couple of rows and I didn't like how it looked, so I took it back and I started again. The second time I dropped a stitch and I couldn't figure out how to pick it back up again, and because I was only, I don't know, 5 rows in, I decided to go ahead and restart again. And I have done 6 full repeats so far. And that's what it's looking like. And the beading is tedious, yes. But I've pretty much figured out how it works. There's been a couple of times when I have gotten off stitch count somehow, like I think I put an extra yarn over in there where it didn't belong, and then I couldn't figure out where I had screwed up, so I had to take out a couple of rows to get back on track, and everything was fine. But what I found out, I think I started these, when I finally got through all my screw-ups, I started the repeats on Tuesday. And there are 56 repeats, and the planner that I am, I had to figure out how many repeats do I need to do every day in order to be able to finish this by Knittopia, because I want to finish it before Knittopia or by Knittopia, because I'm going to block it there. I thought about blocking it here at home, but with the cats, it's just not, it's not a good idea. So I figure as long as I can get it completed before Knittopia, or maybe just have 1 or 2 repeats left to go, then I can block it at the retreat house, because the retreat house is huge, and I can put it off in an area where there's not much traffic, or I can put it down in the basement or something to block it. So that's my goal. So I checked the calendar, and do you know that there was 56 days to Knittopia? Till the day, I think till the day that I go to Knittopia. So if I did 1 a day, I'd be good. Now, the first couple of days I did like 2 or a little bit over 2. But then the last couple of days I haven't done any. So right now I think I'm a little bit ahead, because if I did one Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, through today I only had to have 5 done. And I have 6. And I'm hoping that once I finish here today, once I finish recording, I will sit down and work on it for a little bit. But I really like how it's turning out. I'm still a little bit nervous about whether or not I'm going to have enough yarn, but I think I will. And if I don't, it'll be like by the skin of my teeth. So I'm just working along and doing it. It is easier to work with the beads at my desk at work, only because I don't have cats knocking me. But I am using the super floss method to string the beads. So I have put them on super floss, and this is like a spongy floss, and then at the other end is like regular dental floss. So I string them on there and keep them there. I have put a knot at the end so that I can push them all the way down. And then I just string them on and use them as I need them, and then when I need to fill it up again, then I do. and it's working out great. I'm nowhere near I still have quite a bit of one jar. I think I'm going to be using 2 jars, but I did change my color. I had originally chose a different color. Originally I had chose 917 was the number from Bead Wrangler. And with my last order, I needed to place an order to buy at least one more of the 917. But with my last order, I hate to just buy one thing of beads, so I decided to buy a few different other colors just to have on hand and save on shipping and whatnot. So I bought this number 536, and it is more of a rainbowy rose kind of color, and I like it a lot. The 917 was more of a gray, it was a kind of a rainbow gray, but I don't think it would have been as pretty. But this one, I think, really pulls out the pink, and it stands out. So that is going quite well. Now, you will notice this little thing that I have on my needle. At one point, there was almost a huge catastrophe. This is the needle that I'm not using, that's connected to all of the live stitches, the part that's connected. Now actually, the whole needle is connected, and then I'm using another needle to work the stitches back and forth. But at one point, I was just shoving them down and making sure that I had enough of a space here that they won't fall off. Well, excuse me. At one point, I guess I wasn't paying attention, and I happened to pick it up, and I happened to look down, and there was probably about 6 to 8 stitches that had come off of my needle. And let me show you where my last lifeline was. Way the heck down there. So there's no lifeline up here. That would have been a huge, huge problem. Luckily, I caught it before those little stitches decided to run away with themselves, and I put them back on the needle, and then I immediately looked for something to put on the end of this. Now, I don't think that this is an actual needle protector. I think somebody gave this to me at Knitopia either last year or the year before. I can't remember who. But let me tell you, it came in handy because I just stuck it right on the end of my needle. And it's securing my stitches now. So there will be no more messes up with that. And I'm just working along. I'm really enjoying it. The border is quite easy. I haven't memorized the rows, but pretty much I know where the beads are going to go when I'm working back on that bead row. So that's kind of nice that I don't have to pay attention too much on that. It's just mostly the knit rows that I have to pay attention to, because that's where a lot of the yarn overs and knit to togethers and stuff are. So that is coming right along, and like I said, as long as I get one repeat done a day, I should be finished by Knitopia. But I'm hoping that I do more than that, because I'd like to do a couple other projects before Knitopia as well. So I'm just plugging away on the Even Star. Okay, so a couple weeks ago I reviewed this book, the Spinner's Book of Yarn Design. And I reviewed this book, and then I had said that I was going to give it away to one lucky winner, and I set up a thread. Well, today we are going to give away this lovely book. I still don't think that the ebook has come out yet. I think it comes out next week, but I'm not worried about that. I know I'll get it when it comes out because it's already pre-ordered. Crystal, can you not touch the alpaca, please? So the winner is number 12, codfish, and that is Joe. So congratulations, Joe. You are the winner. We had, I think it was 126 entries, and number 12 came up. So congratulations on that. Just get in contact with me, and I will get this shipped off to you as soon as I have your address. I do have one stash enhancement this week. It is the only thing that I have received for myself, other than my mini spinner, in quite a while, and that is my Into the World Club. And this month this is the Luxe Club, and this is Merino Silk, and the colorway is Take It to the Bridge. So it is gorgeous. If you are not in this club already and you're not on the wait list, you need to be on the wait list. I know she's not taking, or at least she wasn't, she's not taking new subscribers, but if you're not on the wait list, you need to put your name on the wait list, because, oh my gosh, the colors that Chris comes up with are just absolutely amazing. And I highly recommend the Luxe Club. The fibers are soft. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but I think it's well worth it. So there are some of the colors. This is awesome. I can't wait to spin it. I am falling a little bit behind on my Into the World clubs, but that's okay. I'm not worried about having too much of Into the World fiber. That is for sure. This was the February 2013. So like I said, if you are not in the club and you are not on the wait list, what is your problem? Get on the wait list, because the fiber that she produces is just absolutely incredible. Everything that I've ever spun of Into the World has been fabulous. Even things that I didn't think I was going to like the fiber, and really she has nothing to do with what the fiber is. I mean, she obviously picks the fiber, but for instance, the Rambouillet, I did not think I was going to like Rambouillet fiber. But then as I worked with it, the more I worked with it, I loved it, and I loved the colors, how they played and everything. So definitely, if you're not a member and you're not on the wait list, get yourself on that wait list, because it is well worth it. So now for the rest of the spinning tutorial, and here it is. Okay, so now that we've taken some time to spin the yarn on here and we've practiced that, we're ready to go ahead and start plying. Now, this is just a bit of Corriedale fiber, and as I mentioned in my terminology tutorial, they usually, your roving or your top or whatever usually comes in a pretty big piece. And so I don't like to spin that much at one time, so I'll just break off a little bit at a time to spin from, because I don't like to hold that big wad in my hand. Plus, my hands get hot, and when your hands get hot and that fiber is feeding through your hands, you can felt your fiber by doing that. So, in order to start getting your fiber onto your bobbin, you need to join it with your leader. Now in this case, my leader it just happens to be some yarn that I was practicing with, but that's okay. You can just join it right with that. So all you're going to do is lay it right next to the leader, just like that, and we're going to draft out a little bit as we go, and then allow that to twist up with the leader. So I'm just going to let that twist come up and join everything together. Let it get a little bit extra twist, more than normal, because I don't know how it's going to stick with that. So, and then you just go. Now this particular method that I'm using is a short forward draw. This is the method that I like to use most, because it provides a nice single, a nice smooth single. And all I'm doing is I'm keeping when I draft out my fiber, I'm keeping the twist in front of my fingers. I'm not allowing the twist to come back into this fiber, which allows me to keep from getting lumps and bumps in my fiber, or in my single. If I were to let go of this and then try and go, my fiber is kind of a little fuzzy right there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but my fiber is a little bit fuzzy right there, and it's not as smooth as what was previously going in. I'm not holding my fiber tightly with this hand. This hand is kind of just a guide. It really doesn't hold the fiber. If you have your brake band correctly tensioned on the bobbin, then you should not have to squeeze this fiber. I can tell you that I've seen people spinning, and this is what I see them doing. You see how much struggle that is? Because I'm gripping this fiber down here, and I have to grip this to get to pull it out. And it's not allowing me to have a nice smooth single because I'm fighting with the fiber. The single that I just produced is not very consistent because I'm trying to fight with the fiber, and at the same time I'm not able to regulate how much or how little I'm letting come out because I'm having to fight with it. Now, if I loosen up my grip on this, the supply fiber, and I just allow my drafting hand to pull the amount of fiber out that I would like the single to be, then I will have a more consistent single, and it will be what I want it to be rather than trying to fight. Now you will notice that I will sometimes do a little bit, just a tiny squeeze with my thumb after I draft it out, just to be sure that I'm not going to lose, like if I draft a little bit too much, I don't want the single to run off into the bobbin. That does happen sometimes, but if you are consistent with your single, you shouldn't have too much of a trouble with it. But the idea is to not fight with it. This is not supposed to be hard work. It's supposed to be relaxing. So, and my fingers, this hand that's holding the fiber, these fingers are only tight enough to keep the twist from running up into the fiber supply. So, again, this is a short forward draw that I'm doing here. This is what I do most often because, again, I like a smooth single, and this produces that. Now, you can also do a short backwards draw, which is a similar motion, except instead of my the hand that's holding the single, instead of this hand moving, this hand's going to move. So what I'm going to do is draft the fiber this way and then let it go in, and draft the fiber, and then draft the fiber, and then let it go in. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back, and then let it go in. Pull it back. I don't like this method as much. I feel like I'm moving more than I need to be, but some people prefer this method of drafting to a short forward draw. There are different methods of drafting, and like I said, with trying different fibers, you should try different methods of drafting, because you might find that one method works better for you. One method might get you what you want more than another method. So definitely try different methods. Long draw is something that I probably will never do because I like to be in control. And with long draw, it's kind of a crapshoot. You get what you get. Now you'll see here that, I hope you can see that there's a little bit more fiber right there. Now I don't know if this is what you're supposed to do, but I like my yarn to be consistent, and I don't like those little slubs in there. So I will stop when I see that, and I will kind of just pull it out of there. Again, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know if it weakens the single or not, but I don't like them there, so I just take them out, and then I make sure that I run my hand back over it to let any additional fibers that are kind of hanging there twist back in. But again, short forward draw is where I like to be when I am spinning. Okay, so now I would like to show you again how you would add more fiber. I've run out of fiber here, so now I need to add more fiber in. And the best way to do that is just as you're spinning to lay the fiber kind of at an angle to the single, and just allow those fibers to catch in there, and then continue on. Sometimes if I get a little bit too much and I don't like how it looks, I'll just pull it out, break it off, and go again. It's really, spinning is like knitting. If you don't like what you're getting, then try something different. And if you like what you're getting, then I guess you're doing it right. So I will just let you watch for a couple of minutes here while I spin, just so you can kind of see how I do this. They say that when you're spinning, you should work across your fiber and back, meaning that if I'm spinning this, I should be pulling and moving across my fiber as I go this way. I've never been good at that. I just kind of spin and pull fiber, and if I see that there's going to be a little bit, if I'm working down one side of the fiber and I notice that the other side I'm not pulling too much from that, I'll just slide over a little bit and pull from that as well. You have to find what works for you. And I don't work well back this way, so when I get to the edge of the fiber, I'll just turn it over, because that works best for me. Again, spinning is like knitting. You have to like the product that you're getting, and as long as you like what you're getting, then you're doing it right. And there's so many different methods of doing it right that you just have to find what works best for you. And like I mentioned in the drop spindle tutorial, if I happen to accidentally let go and allow the twist to get into my fiber, I can easily just untwist before I draft out. Now, if I let the twist get into my fiber and I don't untwist before I draft out, I'm likely to get a slub. There was not that much twist in there, but if I allow it to get up in there like this and I don't untwist it, actually this fiber is really smooth, so it's allowing me to pull it out where it really shouldn't. But some other rovings might not allow you to get a smooth single if you allow it to go up into the twist. But this Corriedale is so smooth, and the prep on it is wonderful. All those fibers are just sitting right next to one another. But again, if you need to untwist it, if you're getting a little bit too much fiber, again, here's a little bit that's a little bit thicker than the rest of it. So I'm just going to stop, and I'll just pull out a little bit, and it should be about the same. And I'm not going to worry too much about those little hairs, because when I ply it, they'll all work their way into the ply. So again, I'm just going to let you watch for a couple of minutes while I spin this, and you can just kind of get the feel of how I draft. Okay, so you could see there how I manipulated the fiber with my left hand to make sure that I wasn't working down one side of the fiber without catching the fibers from the other side. But you will find that the hand that is doing the drafting is the hand that controls what is going to come out. If I decide that I want a thicker single, I just have to draft more fiber. And the hand that pulls the fiber, you see how that all of a sudden got thicker? Because the hand that pulls the fiber from the supply is that hand, that right hand that's drafting it out. I could just grab more fiber, or I could grab a little bit less. It's just how you draft it. You are in control. It does not control you. If it's controlling you, then more than likely you have your bobbin tension too tight. If you can control it and say, I want my single to be this thick, and so I know I have to draft out this much fiber each time I draft, then your bobbin tension is probably perfect. So again, you can see, watch, I'll start grabbing more fiber and you'll see the difference in thickness. Just like that. I just grab more fiber to pull through. And if I want to thin it back down again, if I want it to be thinner, I just grab less. Now, you might want to be able to do a sampling of plying to see how this is going to turn out, how what you've spun so far is going to turn out when you finish. Now, when I spin, I very rarely get a sampling of plying. Sometimes I do just for the fun of it to see what it's going to look like, because when you're spinning up 4 ounces, sometimes it's going to take a long time to spin up 4 ounces. So if you want to know what it's going to look like in the end before you get there, you can take a sampling. And all you do to do that is to pull out a bit of your single and then ply it together with itself. So I will show you. I'm just trying to get a little bit more single in there because I was changing those different weights. So all you're going to do is stop spinning, remove your fiber supply, and pull it out. Pull out a bit. I want to use this. Pull out a bit of fiber or a bit of single, and then break it off. I'm going to wrap it around my thing over here just so hopefully it will keep the single from flying back up in there, if I can get it to wrap around. And then I'll break it off. And I wanted to use my orifice hook to hang on the end, like so. And what will happen by hanging this on the end is the orifice hook gives it a little bit of weight and lets it spin back on itself. And then you can just let it spin until it stops. Let it untwist just a little bit. Does it look like it spun a little bit too much? And that's what the yarn will look like when it's all plied up. So that's how you would do a 2-ply, but what if you want to look at what a 3-ply looks like? Then you pull out enough length to put it together. And then together again, and then break it off. And it went back up in there. And then again, put your orifice hook on there. It's a little fiddly, but you can do it, and allow it to spin back on itself. And then you have what the 3-ply will look like. So you have the 2-ply and the 3-ply. Now this one has a bit of that where I've changed to different weights, but it gives you an idea of what it will look like. And that's about all I can tell you with just some basic spinning. I will be doing a traditional plying and possibly a Navajo ply tutorial at some point, but this will get you started on your new wheel. So thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a closer up version of my drafting, and I'm working on my e-spinner right here, and hopefully this will give you a better angle of how I do my drafting. I do my drafting the same both for the e-spinner as well as the regular wheel. I will not have sound because the e-spinner is quite loud, and this way you can just see my drafting up close. So I hope that drafting will help you to learn how to draft better yourself. Thanks for watching. Now, as I look back on the footage from the spinning tutorial, the wheel spinning tutorial, I did not mention anything about drafting, on whether or not to draft or not to draft. And like everything else that I have told you before, just try different things with your fiber, because what you might like drafted, somebody else might not like drafted. For the most part, I don't draft my fiber, but if it seems to be a little bit matted down, like if it's been in my stash for a while, sometimes it gets too compressed and it's harder to draft, you know, to just draft out while I'm spinning, and I have to pre-draft it. That's what I mean, pre-draft versus not pre-drafting. So sometimes I do pre-draft it a little bit just to loosen up those fibers a little bit. You have to decide what works best for you. When I do Polwear silk, I pretty much don't draft it at all if the prep is done well. The Polwear silk that I am doing at the office, the Into the World Polwear silk, I'm not pre-drafting that at all before I spin it. But the Into the World BFL that I'm currently spinning on the e-spinner or the mini spinner, I am pre-drafting that a bit. That has been in my stash for almost 2 years, or about 2 years. So it has been compressed quite a bit while it's been in my stash. So it's not that it's felted or anything like that, but it's just compressed and it's not as easy to draft out. So I have pre-drafted that a tiny bit just to make it a little easier to spin. So if you're finding that your fiber is difficult to get, if it's difficult to get consistency with your fiber, maybe try and do a little bit of pre-drafting of that fiber to see if you can't get a little bit more consistency with it. And if you're having trouble, if you are pre-drafting and you're having trouble with it slipping out of your hands, like it's too loose and it's flying out of your hands too much, first check your brake on your bobbin to make sure that that's not too tight. And secondly, maybe don't pre-draft for a little bit and see what happens if it makes it easier for you to spin. So I hope you like that spinning tutorial, and I hope you will continue to come back and check out more of my tutorials. So thanks. And last but not least today, I'm just going to go over a couple of the vendors that I've received donations from in the previous couple of weeks. I can't remember, it's been a couple weeks since I mentioned vendors, I think. But I did want to take a couple minutes and just read off some of them. In fact, I just opened these boxes yesterday, or this morning. I can't remember. Anyway, Revelations of a Delusional Knitter, Art You Wear, Twisted Fiber Arts, Mary Maxim, Unicorn, Miss Babs, and Barmaids. So those are a few of the vendors that we've received donations from. We are still looking for a couple of more door prizes. I have to log these in, but I think that we are going to be needing probably about another 5 to 7 door prizes. So I'm hoping that we can collect another 5 to 7 door prizes between now and the end of March. I'm hoping to have everything all compiled and sorted out and ready by the end of March, because I want to spend the first couple weeks of April just relaxing, getting ready. Because last year, I think I've told you before, last year I ended up getting sick at Knitopia. And so the first weekend was not as pleasant as it could have been. I wasn't really sick. I was just tired and worn down, but it meant that I couldn't really, you know, enjoy myself as much as I would like to. So This year I'm doing things totally different. In fact, I'm taking my vitamins every day. You know, now that I'm working out as hard as I am, I need to be taking my vitamins anyway, but I am taking my vitamins every day. Steve was sick. Not sick, he just was feeling tired and run down on, I think it was Thursday. And he took an emergency, so I took an emergency because I didn't want to get sick if he was getting sick. So I'm really trying to be proactive this year and not leave myself vulnerable as we get closer to the retreat. We do have a couple of midweek spots that are still available for this year if you would like to join us at Knittopia. It is, Knittopia is going to be the 18th through 28th of April, and the midweek spots will be 18, 19, 20, 21, like the 22nd through the 25th or something like that. So if you want to join us and you can take the time off work, let me know and I'll get you all that information. I do have a few spots left for Knittopia 2014. I decided last week that I wasn't going to do a lottery because the spots weren't filling up as quickly as I thought they would, which is great, which is fine. So I'm not going to be doing a lottery this year. I'm just going to do a wait list if somebody happens to drop out. So if you are interested, we have spots, I think for all legs right now. So if you are interested, please get in contact with me and I'll get you hooked up with that information as well. And that is all I have for you today. I am probably going to snuggle up on the couch and do some knitting this afternoon. Maybe I will be wearing my knit swirl because it has been a little chilly down here in the basement. So that's what I'm planning on doing for the rest of the day. So I hope you have a great week and I hope your knitting blooms this week. I will talk to you next week. Bye.